How does it feel to be strapping on the night vision goggles, you know, metaphorically again?
It's kind of interesting because people think of it as returning to like a cottage or a building or to a place. He's never left. I'm Sam.
I'm the guy that goes where others can't.
I want to talk about how you built Sam Fisher those years ago. Give us a little insight into that creation process, because it certainly wasn't just Michael, show up, read a script, you're Sam.
I turned it down. I turned it down twice. And I said, I don't want to do it. And they said, why? And I said, because there's no organic contact with the character. There's no organic truth to him. And they said, what would you do to change that? And I went, really? Do you want me to answer that? Because I don't want to offend anybody. So we sat down for a couple of days and talked about the character. And they asked me to bring some kind of an emotional base to him.
Dad?
Sarah, hi.
Where are you?
On my way home.
And I think we were fairly successful in the beginning. You know, we created a character that people identified with, that spoke to people's isolation or their sense of loss or their mistrust of authority. And the morality, a lot of people say, you know, that don't know what we did with those first early games. I said the morality is correct based on a set of moral parameters I have for Sam. And people say, well, he kills people. And I say, yeah.
Just seeing the reaction to Sam coming back for Ghost Recon Wildlands, everyone is so stoked, and there's people coming out of the woodwork. I mean, is it good to feel that old excitement?
Well, Sam coming back, Sam never left. I'm here. You know, it's like, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this or not, but I got cancer, and I thought I was actually going to die. I thought 65% of not making it. I had prostate and bowel cancer and some others. And I walked away, tried to walk away and just sort of put it in good hands and just walk away. I'm quite proud of Splinter Cell. I'm quite proud of being part of something that is as much organically correct as you're allowed to be in that gaming world. I think we got the max out of that and created something. And I didn't die.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, my family feels that way.
That's what they call me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure.
Call the ghost.
16 years ago, this actor's peak performance helped define an icon. Sam Fishers Splinter Cell, stealthy spy master of withering one-liners.
And I am unreasonably excited to say that actor and, let's be honest, total legend Michael Ironside joins us to discuss Sam's unexpected team-up with the ghosts in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Michael, how are you?
I'm just sort of like in awe of that introduction.
You're welcome. No, it's true.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the studio. We're so thrilled to have you here at Inside Xbox.
Good to be here.
So how was it stepping back into Sam Fisher's shoes?
I never left. I am Sam Fisher.
Quite right.
You know what I mean? It's what's interesting is getting to introduce this character again to a whole new generation. There's a lot of people who have not played the earlier games because the platforms are no longer there. It's like people have never ridden camels because they're no longer there. So it's like introducing this character to a whole new generation.
Yeah.
And hopefully somebody with an essential center truth about him.
Must be great to, I mean, the fans know your voice as the voice of Sam Fisher. It must be nice to have that tie to the character, right?
It is. I don't know how many times I've told this story, but one of the first times that I was flying to Europe after the first or second game, I think it was, and I ordered a cup of tea in the airplane, and all of a sudden I heard this, Sam. And I turned around and I went, oh no, I'm Michael Ironside. And they said, Sam Fisher. And there was this man standing in his vest and his tie was undone, fairly business looking fellow. And I said, oh yeah, I guess, I am Sam Fisher. And he started to cry, he got emotional. And he said, I want to thank you for finding a way for me to communicate with my son.
Yeah,
and that was one of the first times I realized about the social kind of ethical implications of these games and stuff, and how it affects people in their relationships.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful endorsement.
What makes Sam Fisher special to you? I mean, you have played countless characters over the years on television and films, and what makes Sam special to you?
It's an interesting question because games have evolved so much over the last 20 years. You know, excuse me, when I was first approached about this character, it was about, I think, 18, 19 years ago. And I turned it down because I thought the technology and all these stuff was in the storylines, but the actual characters weren't. Sam was this very kind of one-line, two-dimensional character, and I kept turning it down. They said, why? And I said, because there's no organics to him. There's no organic. And Ubisoft was good enough. I was actually shooting something in Montreal at the time, a miniseries, and we sat down and started rewriting and trying to create what is the base. And they didn't understand, being the techno-droids that they are, why you need a storyline for something that's not in the game, and a moral, ethical base that goes before the game started. So we created a backstory for him, created a family, what happened to the family, you know, why he is who he is, and where he goes, and what he does, and who he trusts and who he doesn't trust. And that stayed true all these years for the game. And I think that's why people identify with Sam. And if you go back through all the games, there's a through line for that organics.
Nice.
You really are Sam Fisher then, you're right. I mean,
I'm Sam Fisher. So.
Well, you've been intimately acquainted with this character for 16 years now, right?
16, actually it's more than that, because we started building the game a couple of years before that.
Right, okay. So how was the process of actually being involved with the game and recording the lines and learning about the character and taking the character on that arc over those 16 or plus years?
Well, it's what I do for a living. It's, I think I've got about 300 features or something like that. The base of Sam was a character I met at a party back in the early 70s. I went to a wedding. I got to be careful here. It was a Ukrainian wedding, and I was going because I was going to be this defrocked priest who had left the ministry because he fell in love with a nun, and I was curious to meet this guy. And it was
that's a movie into itself.
72 and 73, and I was at this party, and there was a fellow there over near the holopchi and the cabbage rolls and the petahe and all the good food. And the air around him was kind of cold. I thought, there's the defrocked priest. And I went over, I said, so you fell in love with a nun and left the priesthood. And this guy turned to me and said, what are you talking about? And the air around him was absolutely cold. It turned out he was a mercenary who was in town, connected to this family, but he was in town for the death of his grandmother. And he was, in those days, running shotgun as a mercenary for these flights in and out of the Congo.
Wow.
And of course, being in my budding early ages of my acting, I started in 1970, I hung on this guy like a fly all day, asking him questions. And what I got from him was an essential loneliness, an essential emptiness. We were talking earlier about it. I said, you ever been into an apartment where you walk in where somebody's living and they haven't really moved in? And you talk and there's a bit of an echo comes back? That was the sense I got from him. When you talked to him or he talked, there was this slight emptiness about him that he's desperately aware of. And that's been the base of a lot of characters, and especially Sam Fisher, is that person who's looking for something to organically fill him or to make him feel whole again. And he has a very specific moral, ethical principle behind that. Whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, is not the issue, but it's organically correct.
So you really have been holding on to that character when you met him in the early 70s for like almost 20, 25 years until you were able to really bring him out in Sam.
Well, that character I met at that wedding reception in front of the holopchi has been the base for a lot of characters I've played. It's almost like the canvas.
Yeah.
Painting a picture, we were talking earlier again, painting a picture doesn't start by choosing the colors and the landscape. It actually starts when you build your stretcher, when you stretch the canvas, when you choose the format and the you know, that you're going to paint in. And it's the same with characters. It's that character is like the canvas that I've painted a lot of pictures on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's been your foundation.
Sam owns his genetics to that meeting that day. He is not that person.
Right.
Do you think he knows that person? Do you think he might have seen Sam
I can't really
Fisher at
talk
some
about
point?
that. I actually saw him.
All right.
He's still alive in a news situation a couple of years back, and it shocked me because he's a couple of years older than me, and I thought he'd be dead by now. And he's not. He's still out there.
Just like Sam Fisher.
Well, I don't know if he's like Sam Fisher. I like to believe that Sam has a moral, ethical base that is a little more correct. It's a little more loving. It's a little more familial based. He believes in what he's doing, and he wants it to be a better and safer world.
Sure. Now, you know movies and TV inside out, right? That's been your life.
It's my medium.
How important do you think voice acting is in video games, which clearly visually is a very different medium?
Boy, do you really want to ask me that question? That's kind of like a grenade. I don't see essentially anything different in voice acting, camera acting, stage acting. There's an organic base and a truth to something, and you know how you people that put together that format use it. Is different. I mean, I'm essentially the same if I'm doing narration on a documentary or if whether I'm doing a stage play or whether I'm doing a feature film. It all has to be organically correct. For me, this is for me. And I think the more organically correct a character is, the more an audience feels safe in trusting them and allowing them to be told a story, or allowing them to drop their armor and let them be told a story.
Michael, it's such a pleasure to have you on the set.
Thank you for the voice. Thank you for everything.
Well, thank you.
Such a legend for your time. Anyway, thanks so much. Next, we have Laura Corddry from Ubisoft is here to help unpack this expansion and give us a taste of what lies ahead in Ghost Recon Wildlands Year 2. But first, let's set the stage with the sizzling Year 2 trailer.
When somebody steals from Langley, it makes the brass sweat. That's when they call me. I'm the guy that goes where others can't. I'm the guy that will cross that line. I'm the guy they can disavow and leave for dead. And I'm the guy who solves their problems with swift action. I've followed my target to Bolivia. He plans on selling Langley's secrets to the Santa Blanca drug cartel. I'm alone without my team. Lucky for me, some old friends are in the neighborhood. All right, Ghost. This is Sam Fisher. Let's go for a ride.
All right, we're here with Laura Corddry. Laura, you are the community dev, right? You work on the Ghost Recon Wildlands team. That was an incredible trailer, and I love your style here because you guys announced it on Monday, shipped it on Tuesday. It's available now, right?
Yeah, available now, so everyone can go check out all the new content.
That's phenomenal.
Laura, what was the team's reaction when they heard they were going to be putting Sam Fisher
Legendary.
into the Wildlands? I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, as I'm sure you can imagine, the teams were so excited to bring such an iconic character to the Wildlands, and additionally, just the opportunity that it gave us to create so much new content for our players. Obviously, we have this free PvE mission. Additionally, it meant we could add in Sam Fishers' iconic night vision goggles into the game. We have a new PvP class called the Echelon, so all based on Splinter Cell. So yeah, it's really cool to bring the Splinter Cell universe into the world of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and yeah, it's an awesome project for sure.
When you're working on this project, I mean, Splinter Cell to fans, we just talked to Michael Ironside. It's got legendary feel and gameplay, and Ghost Recon is a little bit different. So how did you bring those two together so that they were still true to their own universes?
So it's really, well, for us, what we wanted to do is a question of just ensuring that, when our players, they play alongside Sam in this mission, that they really felt like they were playing alongside the character that they've come to know and love. So to do that, it was very much a question of ensuring that his personality really shows through. Obviously, everyone, he's very iconic. So, he's got a great sense of humor, wit, a high sense of duty. So it's just to make sure that via the dialogue and the interactions he has with the ghost, that, you really feel like you're playing, alongside Sam. And then additionally, just with the mission itself, being, based on Splinter Cell, that it's a stealth mission, it's set at night time. So it was just a question of, bringing the world of Splinter Cell, the mood of Splinter Cell, into the Wildlands and just giving it the little Ghost Recon Wildlands touch.
Is there a certain strategy that players should use in trying to complete the mission?
Yes, so it's quite a tough mission.
Warning.
Yeah, definitely a warning. So what I say is obviously, think and play as Sam would, go step by step, take your time. And really importantly, something super simple, just remember the tools you have at your disposal in the game that you actually use all the time. So for the beginning of the mission, with the stealth infiltration, obviously you can use your drone to recon your area, know where your enemies are. You have your night vision goggles as well. Additionally, you can create diversions with your diversion grenades. You have the noisemaker function on your drone. And then for the fight sequence, you can get help from the rebels. You can drop mortar. So there's really a lot you can do. And if you're finding it difficult to play solo, you can play in co-op as well. So you can play with your friends. So
nice.
A lot of options there.
So it's about remembering all the fundamentals that you've already learned playing Wildlands and fighting the cartel and
exactly
into action as well. And you've got this incredible power-up of Sam Fisher on your side.
Yeah, he's a pretty good partner. So
I can't wait to hear some of the dialogue between the ghosts and Sam.
It's very cool.
Good moments in there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. But this is just one part of this huge update and the start of year 2 for Ghost Recon. Tell us about some of the other things in the update now and then what's coming up down the line.
So the first update of year 2 to Special Operation 1. And so for PvE, so we have this free mission that we've been talking about today. Additionally, we have a new community requested feature, which is AI teammate customization. So very happy to bring this to our players. And it basically means that you can just change the outfits of your teammates in PvE, in our campaign mode.
That's great.
So yeah, that's cool. And then, so in PvP, we have a new mode called Sabotage. And the idea here is that one team needs to capture and hold an objective before the timer runs out and the opposing team tries to stop them. And then we have a new PvP assault class called the Echelon. He's super cool. And so he comes with a sonar pulse ability, and he can actually see enemies through walls at a short range distance, and has proximity mines, SC4000 assault rifle. And additionally, as it's the first update of year 2, we have our year 2 pass, which is available now. So basically, this unlocks all Ghost War classes a week early with each update. It has a special customization pack in it, lots of Splinter Cell inspired items in there. So
cool.
Yeah, quite a lot for the first update.
I know this is the second year, but let's quick look back at year 1. What were some of the highlights for Ghost Recon Wildlands?
So we actually had 13 title updates last year. So
wow.
It was a jam-packed year. And then, so during that time, we actually had we had 2 DLCs. We have our PvP mode, Ghost War. We had additional PvE experiences, such as the Tier 1 mode in our campaign, the Predator mission.
Predator mission.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was
Thank
very
you
cool.
For that.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough mission as well. We have a habit of doing that, so that was
what
last
was the
December.
stat that only like 4% or 5 or 6% of people actually
I think it's about like
defeated the Predator?
Single
yeah.
digits.
That's cool.
Wow.
He's seriously tough to take down. So, and that's still available now.
Predator.
If anybody wants to try it out.
Go back and it's there for you.
Nice. And can you give us any hints about what's coming up maybe later in year 2?
Yeah, so we're going to have 4 title updates for year 2. So this is the first of the 4. And each one, like with this update, we're going to have a very strong central theme upon which we'll build PvE and PvP content. We'll continue to add community requested features, of course, and additionally just make sure the game's running as smoothly as possible. And to start the year right, we're holding a free weekend this weekend.
Nice, yeah.
On the 12th to the 15th of April, so everybody's welcome.
What are you waiting for? Go.
Brilliant.
No one's
that's
gonna
this weekend.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So play the game free, try out the Sam Fisher mission, and enjoy the rest of Ghost Recon this weekend.
And go find the Predator afterwards if you want.
Yeah, exactly. If you're still up to it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Anyway, all right.
definitely.
Great.